Welcome students and families to Tennessee Virtual Academy, also known as TNVA. This recording is going to walk you through all the ins and outs of virtual school to make this a successful year. My name is Miss Bridges, and as you can probably tell, our theme this year is superheroes. Um, so this is me here, the first one, Miss Bridges. I am the math and science teacher for your student. Mrs. Appleton will be your ELA and history teacher this year. Our wonderful administrators, Miss Stephanie Jeffrey. She's the first picture there. She is our fourth grade principal. And then Miss Sarah Schuler. She is our fourth grade vice principal. These wonderful ladies are there to help you anytime that you need it. If you have questions or concerns, we do ask that you come to the teachers first. And then if you feel like you need to go to them beyond us, or if we can't answer a question for you, etc., please feel free to reach out to them. Your specials teachers. We do have art, music, and PE at TNVA. They are mostly asynchronous, meaning that they are independent work. So for art and music, you will end up having a link that you will access once a week to complete an activity for art and one activity for music. These are graded on a pass-fail. So please make sure that if you have questions about accessing this link or completing assignments that you reach out to either your teachers or your art and music teacher. They do lots of fun activities throughout the year, and most of our kids really enjoy art and music. So Miss Lily Allen is our art teacher and Dr. Hunsucker is our music teacher. For the 2022-23 school year, PE is new to us. We are super excited to have PE. We're one of the first virtual schools to actually have PE. So that is an exciting accomplishment. So we have two teachers, Miss Kelly Warren and Julie Hill. For our classes, our primary teacher will be Miss Kelly Warren. I will talk a little bit more about how PE is going to work a little later in the video. If your student requires special education classes or support, we have two wonderful people that you will be seeing, Miss Anna Raymond and Miss Christy Hewitt. They are wonderful at supporting our students and making sure that they're receiving all the support and accommodations they need. Some of the other support teachers you may be working with is Miss Kayla Houston and Heather Dory. Heather Dory is our gifted education specialist. TNVA, we do have school counselors for our students and our families. Miss Frankie Terrell is our 4th through 6th grade counselor. If you are ever facing a situation or a circumstance that you need assistance with or support, or you want to see what TNVA might be able to provide you and your family, or maybe you just need to reach out and speak with someone or have your students speak with someone, whether it's a one-time or an ongoing basis, our school counselors are really wonderful. So please use that resource if you ever find that you need it. And Miss Melissa Haynes, she is our 4th and 5th grade attendance specialist. Okay, so let's talk a little bit now about Neuro and OLS. These are two terms that you will be hearing quite frequently throughout your time here. So Neuro is just the platform that we work through for our live classes. So whenever you hear us say Neuro, that is just the live class your student is in. The OLS is short for your online learning system. That is the go-to website for students to look at what their live classes are for that day, and if they have any OLS lessons or assignments, they can access that there. One thing to note for our live classes is that all live classes and communications are recorded. These are for learning purposes. So for a class to be recorded, for example, if a student has to miss because of a doctor's appointment or of an illness, they can go back and watch the recording. And it's also a great resource if something was missed in class or you need to review information. Recordings are available usually about 30 minutes after a class has concluded. Okay, so our online learning system, again, this is how they're going to access live classes, recordings, any OLS assignments that have been given to them. This is also a great resource to find the student's number and the student's TNVA email. You are also able to change phone numbers and emails, learning coaches, through this website. And it's a resource for students and learning coaches to email the teachers and check their own email. So I'm just going to quickly walk through some of the things of OLS. This is something that will take a little practice, and please feel free to reach out to us and we can help you as well. So the online learning system, when you at k12.com, when you open it up and sign in, your student will have their grade and their name where it says profile and 5th grade. It'll actually say 4th grade for them. If you look right underneath of that, you will find their student ID. Underneath the account is where you can find, change the phone number that you have on file and a personal email and the student's school email. The student's school email is convenient to have written down because it is a username for another website that we use that's called ClassKick. Something else students can do is they can change their avatar, and you can also go into settings and change the way your background looks. This tab here that says Plan is the most frequented tab in the OLS. Students will typically go straight to this tab, Plan, and this will show if they have any live classes and what time they are, and if those classes recordings have been opened. And then if OLS lessons are assigned to them, you will find them at the bottom here. So again, a lot of these lessons are what we call async or asynchronous, and that just means that students will complete those during independent work time or outside of live class. Most times we will access some of it, at least during class. Right below the plan is the tab that is called Messages. This is where students and learning coaches can access their teacher's emails by clicking on Teacher Contact, and then also their own inbox. Students do have a secure TNVA email, so they need to check this about daily, and learning coaches, I would encourage you to check your email daily. A lot of things come through email. A lot of information and notifications come through email. The next tab in your online learning system or OLS is the resources tab. It's underneath the messages. Big Universe is a resource that is like a big online library. Kids like to go there to find just about anything that interests them. They can access that anytime that they want to. The other site that we'll be using frequently is called Progress Learning. They will have assignments to do in Progress Learning, just like the OLS and ClassKick, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. But this is also where they will access something called Liftoff. So if they happen to be in RTI, which is a response to intervention class, and again, I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, then they will access Liftoff by going through this Progress Learning tab as well. So let's talk a little bit about ClassKick. Outside of the OLS lessons or Progress Learning lessons, ClassKick is one of the only other sites that students will go to complete assignments. ClassKick is a website that is secure where students can complete work in real time. The teacher can see it in real time. They can leave feedback. They can help them make corrections. And it's a resource that more or less takes over in-class practice or worksheets. So you'll be hearing ClassKick very often during class. And again, that TNBA email, that is, we can provide that for you, but it's also found in the OLS, is going to be their username to access ClassKick. Okay. So again, their email username is their TNBA email, and all passwords are TNBA Tigers. Let's talk a little bit about the checklist and the schedule. The checklist is something that you will want to go over with your student daily. The checklist is a place where you will go, and I'll show you what example looks like. That will show for that week of school what we'll be doing in class, any asynchronous assignments students need to complete, what is for attendance, and also any type of announcements or materials that they may need for the week. So this is an example of a checklist that we had right before our fall break. So you can see that it is separated into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Each day is a different column, is a different color. So everything that students will need to be doing on Monday, for example, will be in blue. They will follow the column down. It'll first tell you what we will be doing in homeroom. Okay. Then their English class is, again, blue is Monday. Math, blue is Monday. And then if they have social studies or science that day. We alternate social studies and science, so they'll either have one or the other. And then we also alternate their assignments on Wednesday, so they'll only have a science or a history assignment on Wednesday. At the very bottom of the checklist are the resources for art and music. We have the teacher's emails. We have the link for their assignments, and then the same for PE. We have Kelly Warren as our coach, so there is her email, and then the link will also be there. Right below that is an example of the student's schedule. So this is a typical schedule. This may change due to school being out for a Monday, or if testing and different things like that, but this is a typical schedule for students at the bottom of that checklist that you can look at. Notice that Wednesday is what we call an asynchronous day. We do have a required homeroom on Wednesdays. That is part of their attendance. Okay. And then the asynchronous assignments that are noted for math, ELA, science, or social studies are their other part of their attendance for that day. And we're going to go over a little bit more about attendance here in a moment. So there's two different ways that you can access the weekly schedule. The first way is through your OLS. And then we also provide our learning coaches and our students with a link to a master schedule. And that master schedule will house all the weekly checklists that we have gone throughout the year. So this is an example of what that looks like. So if you need to go back and look at a previous week's checklist, it'll be there. And then when the new week's checklist is posted, we will add